Hello, this is Nick from Breaker Press Games, and this is the Breaker Bulletin for April 18th, 2025. Alright, for those of you that are not familiar with the Breaker Bulletin, this is my show where I break down all the things going on with Breaker Press Games, whether it is having to do with my Patreon page, or crowdfunding such as Kickstarters, or if it is conventions that I'm going to, or in-store events. All those things, I break all that stuff down here on the Breaker Bulletin. This is where you're going to find out everything you want to know about what's going on with Breaker Press Games. So, that being said, it has been a very busy 2 months. It's been 2 months since I've recorded one of these. Last one was in February. I skipped over March. And why did I skip over March? Well, it just so happens that the time frame that I normally do a Breaker Bulletin was right during GaryCon. And so, for those of you that don't know, I am also, in addition to doing Breaker Press Games, I am a convention rep for Goodman Games. And this means that I go to a number of conventions throughout the year. Some of them are bigger ones that I have to be part of organizing teams. So GaryCon was one of these conventions where I was part of an organizing team where we worked for months on preparing for GaryCon. We've already started working on GameholeCon for October. And I am on the organizing committee for Gen Con, for example, for Goodman Games. And so this is additional income that I have coming in that is a way that I got off of the Kickstarter treadmill, which was how I was trying to maintain Breaker Press, was by doing a Kickstarter every 3 months. And it caused me to get really far behind on all of my projects. And so I am so happy to report that I am almost caught up. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's break down what's been going on for the last 2 months. So first and foremost, as I mentioned, GaryCon. GaryCon happened in mid-March, and it was months of preparation, and then we actually show up day before actually showed up 2 nights before the convention begins. Day before, we end up getting up early and setting everything up, getting the booth all set up, because that's a full day's activity. And then, which we had a fantastic crew. It was a wonderful group. And then we ran the booth for 4 days. Then I had to break it all down and take it all back to, some of it goes back to my place, some of it goes back to Fort Wayne, to the Goodman Games warehouse. But that is the routine. GaryCon was a fantastic event. GaryCon is great every year. I've been going for 4 years now? Yeah, I think 4 years now. But this year I didn't get my events in on time, and so I ended up putting out a post onto Patreon, and then I opened up to people on Twitter and Facebook, just letting people know that, hey, I'm going to run Off Books Games on the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. If anybody wanted to attend. And so it went out to the patrons first, and my booth staff, and then additionally to people on the internet that might be interested. So each night I set up in the open play area in the second floor of the Grand Geneva Resort, and I had packed tables every single night. And it was just absolutely wonderful to get together with all of these mostly patrons, people that have been following my work. Some of them are people that I've played games with in the past. Some of them are people that had never experienced a game with me, and I had an absolutely amazing time, running these games and interacting with all of these people that are fans of my work and friends. And a combination of the two. So yeah, excellent time. And so then after GaryCon, then I had a day of doing paperwork, actually 2 days of doing paperwork, reports to Goodman Games and what have you. And then without any time really to recover, I had a friend fly in from Seattle, who is a old friend. He worked for me when I worked for Games Workshop For those that don't know, I used to work for Games Workshop and Games Workshop Retail, and so I've known this person for 25 years now, and so Aaron, he flew in, came to visit, and so then my house was taken over with Adepticon. Alex, editor of most of the Breaker Press product, came down from Minneapolis, and he's a friend that I originally met here in Milwaukee before he moved away. And so he was here, and then Hal, who did layout work on a bunch of the early Breaker Press standard stuff, like the Precipice Corruption, etc. He's here, and so we all the four of us hung out and went to Adepticon every day and went out to eat and did all sorts of fun stuff, played board games and miniature games, and it was a fantastic week. And so after 2 straight weeks of hanging out with people and just being surrounded with people, I was exhausted. And so as much as I wanted to put as much of myself into Breaker Press stuff, I needed a few days to recover. And then as I started to recover, I started to work on something called the Altar of Embers. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But just to kind of get my brain going in the right direction. And then the weekend after that was Midwest Gaming Classic, and I had been offered a badge to come and scope things out to possibly represent Goodman Games there in the future. And so I went and did that and spent the Saturday afternoon there. But once all of that was out of the way and all the paperwork was out of the way, then my brain was able to shift gears back to Breaker Press Games activities. And so, that being said, we should talk about Patreon, and we're going to rewind back in time before Altar of Embers, and we're going to talk about what I completed in March, which was Brigands on the North Road and the Log Splitter. Both of these were rewards that went out in March. And the Log Splitter is I would term him a beneficial NPC, somebody that is could be a quest giver, or at least a semi-reliable NPC that could give you information on give the PCs information as to whether they're on the right track. And so yes, he is a voice of clarity. That is how I termed him on the back, a voice of clarity. So and fantastic art on the cover by Ricardo Gaspar. And then Brigands on the North Road is a pamphlet that has 9 bandit factions, lawful, neutral, and chaotic bandits, ranging from the lawful ones. You could get press ganged into the Protectorate, or you could encounter the Rusty Knives, who are murderers, or the Ravens, who are scavengers. And so I've been utilizing this at a number of different things lately, and it's been a lot of fun. So those were even though they shipped in March, they were the December and January Patreon rewards. And so for the months of February and March, we've got the Live Fully, Die Gloriously sticker for 2025. Obviously, that is the motto on the back of the Stennard character creation guide: live fully and die gloriously. So new sticker with art by Francesco Accordi. This art appeared in the Protector to Genulane. Great sticker. And so when I ship out Patreon rewards next week, they will be getting that sticker and the Altar of Embers. Now, let's talk about the Altar of Embers. So this was a fun thing that 2 years ago, my home campaign, one of my players found out that I have in the past done leveling up montages that are one-on-one adventures, and he was like, I want that experience. And I was like, sure, let's do it. he had a fire wizard. It was before the before the elementalist class was done, but I was working on it. And I was working on the new spells for sorceress, rights of the elements, etc. And so he wanted a bespoke experience of a leveling up quest, and so he went on a journey. There was a calling in his head. He went on a journey, and ended up like climbing a cliff and going into a cave, and then ultimately having to brand himself, and the brands gave him new spells. And so the Altar of Embers is an adaptation of that. I had the map from 2 years ago still laying around, and so I decided to pull it out, redraw it, update it, and it became this map right here, which starts with a cliff that you climb, and then you go into the cave system. It has 7 encounter areas, but most importantly, it's got 3 different quest setups. So you can do it as that one-on-one leveling up montage, but you can also utilize it as a place that you need to destroy. The PCs need to destroy, or there's a monster that the PCs can hunt, and it breaks all that down. I am excited to get this into people's hands because it's a fun little thing, and so it is at the printer right now, along with the second printing of the Prowler, the Standard Courier Volume 2 thank you cards, because those of you that have backed my Kickstarters before, you know that you always get a thank you card in the package with your purchase, and so those 2 things, those 3 things are what are at the printer right now. They are supposed to be done on Tuesday. That is what Digicopy tells me. So let's talk about. I ended up knocking over my instructions here, my notes. So we talked about Altar Embers. We talked about Brigands on the North Road and the Log Splitter. What's next? The Standard Courier Volume 2. So Standard Courier Volume 2, it is not quite done yet, but as you can see, I have a physical copy right here. In fact, there's one of the spreads that I had posted on the Patreon page. Here's Gulan Shoe Stitcher, his 2-page spread, etc., etc. So this has the 27 pages that are completed, as well as a bunch of pages that are in various stages of completion, like how this has got a big gap in it because I haven't finished doing the section on the Hive Wardens, and the Hive Wardens might actually get saved for the Standard Courier Volume 3. We will see. Because I've got a bunch of stuff that I am sitting on that I am, weighing, okay, which is going to go best in Standard Courier Volume 2. So I have 13 pages that I need to complete in order to finish this up, and I am hoping to have them done soon. I'm not going to give a specific date because there are other things that I also have to complete. So one of the things that I've alluded to, but I haven't given many details on, is that I actually, I've got new art behind me. And what's that new art? That's Ricardo Gaspar art. It is a new adaptation of the cover of Wide-Eyed Terror. And Wide-Eyed Terror was an adventure that I had written as kind of like, you could do it as a prequel or a follow-up to The Precipice of Corruption. And it is one of my favorite adventures to run at conventions, because I always say it is guaranteed to split the party. It's a farmstead, and there's noises coming from all the buildings on the farmstead, and everybody runs around trying to figure out what's going on, and then they get picked off piecemeal. It's great. I love it. But one of the things that I have encountered is that it's kind of short. It plays relatively quickly and usually finishes in under 3 hours. And so I wanted to get it to at least 3 hours. And so I added a few encounters, got new cover art, and this is going to be released as part of DCC Day 2025. And so it is a Breaker Press release. It's still a third-party release, but it will be distributed as part of DCC Day, and I'm really excited about it. But this meant that there were deadlines. In fact, I have not met the deadlines. I am still working on this, and it's supposed to be sitting in the Goodman Games warehouse. So I also have to prioritize finishing this. So, yeah, there's been a push and pull with everything that I've got going on. Additionally, a thing that Dungeon Denizens Volume 2, that Kickstarter just ended, and there were deadlines because I got asked to submit a few monsters for Dungeon Denizens 2, and it was an honor to be asked, and it was something I was very excited about, but it also meant that it pulled me away from some things for a little bit. That doesn't mean that I say yes to everything. There's other mystery things that are coming up that I said no to because I just can't. I have to get these things done, and so since I'm behind again, I want to get all of that stuff taken care of. So, Standard Courier Volume 2 will be done soon. As you can see, I have a physical copy in my hand. It is mostly done. But what else? We talked about Wide-Eyed Terror. Let's talk about Horrors of the Whispering Wood. Through the months of February, March, and April, I've been having Ricardo Gaspar working on different monsters that are going to be part of the bestiary, and so, you know, I'm slowly whittling away at that, so that once Standard Courier Volume 2 is done, that will be my priority. So, Horrors of the Whispering Wood, it has not been forgotten. It is going to be done, and it is going to be glorious. I've really put a lot of thought on many dog walks as to some of the elements of the hex crawl and how to take a relatively small hex area and blow it up into something bigger. I got ideas, and I've been talking about them with some people, and they're like, "Oh, that's a great idea." So we'll see. Let's see what else. I guess before we wrap this up, we should talk about conventions. I've got DaveCon coming up next weekend. That is in the Twin Cities area. It's technically right across the street from the Mall of America. I am very excited to be there. Alex, my editor, should be there as well. Come in to hang out, and hopefully, if you want to talk to somebody about editing or whatever, Alex will be there. Get to meet part of my team, and then obviously based in the Twin Cities area is Julian Bernick, one of the freelance authors, also the author of Nowhere City Nights for DCC, and so yeah, it is going to be. I looked today at all of the DCC and MCC events, and every single one of them is sold out, and so that is exciting. But if you are in the Minneapolis area, the Twin Cities area, come out, hang out, and pick up lots of stuff. I will have the Goodman booth in tow, and I will be packed to the gills. So, what else? After DaveCon in June, well, I should say in May, I will be going to Atlanta as a guest, an RPG author guest at MomoCon. So I will be at MomoCon in Atlanta, and then I will be at Origins in Columbus in June. So I've got lots of great stuff coming up. I'm really looking forward to all of it. Thank you so much for supporting Breaker Press Games. As always, I always am apologetic for the delays, but hopefully you are with me because you love the content that I make, and you just are happy to be along for the ride, and I am so grateful that you are there with me. Because as you all know, we are living in uncertain times, and, you know, I'm not, you know, I feel for all of the like government employees and people that are living in precarity, but I, as an author and artist of sorts, you know, I am also dependent on the ability for people to have disposable income in order for me to be able to keep making stuff. And so, for all of you that are on this ride with me, thank you so much. And for any of you that are feeling that deep instability, I am so sorry, and my heart goes out to you. All right, all that being said, thank you for supporting indie games and indie game designers. This is Nick from Breaker Press Games, signing off.